Tesla has gone from being what was considered to be a playboy's gimmick company to being arguably the most successful American car maker in the world. And part of that success has always been their ability to push fresh things out in time to keep people interested. However, with the way things have been going, well, broadly speaking, in every direction, it looks like Tesla might have to slow down on their success train. Today, we are going to be talking about what is up with the Tesla delays, what caused it, what it means for customers, as well as how it will impact the company and the industry moving forward. If you want to learn more, please keep watching, because this video will cover a lot. What's going on? If you've been out of the Tesla circle for a while, or are just new in general, because let's face it, there are a lot more people coming into the fandom these days, which as we'll realize through the course of the video is part of why the delays are happening. But let's not get ahead of ourselves. Okay, so a few months ago, Tesla website frequenters and new buyers started noticing that the estimated time of delivery for the models had suddenly increased by a large margin. And it wasn't just random, but across the board. What used to be a week-long wait had now gone on to be a wait time of 3 months or longer. To be specific, the estimated delivery date for Model 3 is in December, while Model Y prospective buyers have to wait till February of next year, and the cream of the crop, the Model S and Model X, now have an even longer wait time till March or April of 2022. And that's over the continuous delays that are already faced by the models that are yet to be produced, namely the Cybertruck, Semi, Roadster, and the upper-end performance versions of Models 3 and Y, which are now estimated to arrive in November 2022. Now, although Tesla has never been known for super fast delivery, these delays have been shocking for a bunch of reasons, because basically, as of this moment, there aren't any major Tesla cars that anyone can buy. In fact, the issue isn't limited to Tesla alone either, with companies like Ford, Honda, GM, and Volkswagen all having been caught off guard by this mysterious delay in production. And so the question has to be asked, what exactly is it that's causing the sudden slowing down of the automaker industry? Well, the answer lies in two factors. The first one being the demand, and the second being a global shortage in the manufacturing of a bunch of supplies that are necessary for car manufacturing. But before we get into any of those, let's first tackle the issue of demand. In its heyday, Tesla was a company for enthusiasts, meaning that the only people who ever bought those cars were people who had a personal passion for EV and what Elon was doing. However, as time has gone on, the global perspective on electric vehicles, especially Tesla, has gone from a fad to the actual future of the industry. And since Tesla is by far the most iconic company of this EV wave, they have gone from an unknown brand to being one of the most recognizable status symbols in the country, with celebrities and billionaires alike taking a keen interest in the machines. Couple that with the increasing government incentives for buying an EV, and it's safe to say that Teslas have never been more in demand than they are now. And that's where we run into our main issue. You see, although Musk did want his company to succeed, the shift has been so dramatic that the Tesla supply is still a little ways behind the demand. Not to mention, with Tesla's new ventures growing, from solar to battery, all of their new resources have not been going to making cars. As a result, right now, the Tesla demand exceeds their maximum supply by a large margin, and as orders pile up, the problem is only going to get worse. And do you realize how ironic that is? Slowed down by the pace of your success. Now that's a paradox. While that problem is limited to Tesla and will be fixed, because it is Tesla we're talking about and they always have a plan, the other problem is a lot more serious and a lot more far-reaching: the global parts shortage. Let's face it, the past 2 years have been the absolute worst setback that humanity has faced in years, and the virus isn't the only thing that has contributed to it, because as it turns out, a US-China trade scuffle back in September of 2020 has led to one of the worst chip shortages that the world has ever seen. While a few decades ago, that would have been bad, but not terrible. In a world that is getting exceedingly more digital, that is a death sentence for many industries. And you guessed it, car manufacture, particularly large-scale electric cars which rely heavily on those chips, is one of those industries. And not just chips, raw materials, radars, batteries, and everything has been going down, causing more and more bottlenecking. Tweeting regarding the Tesla Roadster shortage, Musk himself admitted that 2021 has been the year of super crazy supply chain shortages. Assuming 2022 is not mega drama, new Roadsters should ship in 2023. And later on in July this year, at the company's second quarter earnings call, Musk said that chip supply is fundamentally the governing factor in our output. It is difficult for us to see how long this will last first, because this is out of our control essentially. For the rest of this year, our growth rates will be determined by the slowest part in our supply chain. What all of this means is that basically, Tesla simply can't get their hands on the building materials needed for making a car. And if the rest of the industry doesn't fix itself soon, Tesla might have to delay production even further. Now, what exactly do both of these things mean for the company and the customers? Well, the first part is incomplete cars. Now, if you thought that the problem would only affect the future, you're dead wrong. Because in reality, the problem is so bad, in fact, that already several Tesla owners have been reporting missing parts inside their Teslas. There have been missing wireless charging pads as well as USB ports, which might not be as bad as BMW owners not getting their touchscreen. And while Tesla does promise that they'll install all of that as soon as parts arrive, the real problem is the fact that a majority of these missing parts were without notifying the customer. And then there's Tesla's autopilot. Now, traditionally, that has been done using cameras as well as radar. And while Tesla eventually wanted to switch to cameras only, the eventual transfer has happened much earlier. And while many will consider that a good thing, since it's supposed to be superior, these new cars are shockingly incomplete, with the autopilot messing up far more than it used to. Many are theorizing that this hurried shift has also been due to the chip shortage. And the second effect has been delays. We already covered part of the delays, but taking a deeper look at them makes you realize a lot more interesting stuff. First off, besides pushing the Model S long range and the Model X long range to March 2023, the company seems to be forcing people to buy only specific car configurations. Here's what we mean. The 19-inch wheels have been the cheapest and standard option for a while. The configurator now shows the bigger and more expensive 21-inch arachnid wheels as default, and wouldn't you know it, that increases the price by $4,500, but also makes the delivery faster, with a November 2022 delivery timeline, meaning once again that there is a shortage in parts, in this case, the wheels. The same can be said in the case of the top performance version Model S Plaid, which can be bought as early as December 2021 regardless of the choice of wheels or color. The situation over at Cybertruck is even more depressing, with the online configurator having been removed entirely. And that brings us to the price. You see, Tesla's most recent release, the Model Y SUV, was categorized as a cheap standard SUV for the masses, starting near a respectable $48,000. However, over the past year or so, that price has gone up by a whopping $10,000. And the same can be expected of Cybertruck, since its shockingly competitive price of $39,000 was already pretty hard to pull off. With the new delays, it is easy to see why the company has chosen to remove any mention of the price from their website. All in all, things are looking pretty grim for the EV giant. However, there is still some hope in the form of the future. Now, with the way things have been going, it's pretty hard to make solid claims about what's up for the company. But there are a few good points. The first is the new car factories in Houston and Austin, both of which will be centered around the production of large volume, low-cost vehicles. And where those will take a large share of the burden from the current factories, there is also Tesla's upcoming battery rollover. The new 4680 cells and the associated gigafactories have already been showing great signs of completely removing the battery constraint, and as construction draws to a close, that is looking nearer as well. All in all, while we don't think the delays will be redacted, there is still a decent amount of hope for the Tesla fanboys out there. And on that note, we must end today's video. I hope you enjoyed watching it, and if you did, be sure to leave a like and subscribe for more. And with that, take care, and I'll see you guys next time.